Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Disconnect to Connect, one-word conversations. Disconnect to Connect is brought to you by I Am William Brown, a place where you can have conversations to be yourself and to live your life. And there are also items there, and I spotlight one of the items there, the U cards, to set the intention for our conversation. And my intentions, the cards that I picked for today is I am purpose, you are full of grace, and the quote card is be you, do you, for you. So with that in mind, I am going to introduce the word that we are going to have a conversation about today, and it is wellness. Some of you have been a part of this week where this has been the word of wellness. And so you can see in real time how wellness shows up for a number of different people. So with that in mind, we're going to continue the conversation on the one word of wellness. Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How about you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, I am great. This is the time in the show where I invite my guests to introduce themselves however it feels comfortable to them.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Nhat Pham. I work with entrepreneurs, executives, and individuals to help them grow, scale through story branding, consulting, and really personal growth as of late through advising and coaching, and have always been a pursuer of success, whether it be as a father, entrepreneur, or a leader in the community, and excited to be here.
Oh, wonderful. So with all that and all the things that you got going on in your life, how does the word wellness show up in your life?
I had a little time to reflect on it, and wellness, I had to really think through and differentiate between health and wellness. I focus a lot on health, but to me, wellness encompasses so much more.
Right.
It's more than just 360. I think there are elements people don't think about as far as wellness goes. Off the bat, you think of your physical health, but there's the emotional, mental, there's the spiritual, there's the vocational health, because all those lends to wellness. And when you're not in pursuit of those things, not just is it good or bad, but this pursuit and evolution of that wellness, I think you sell yourself short, and you're not maximizing your full potential and becoming the best you can be. And I love the line that you had, that be you, do you, for you. And I think wellness is such a critical part of that statement.
Right. I get it, and I can appreciate it. There are sometimes questions come up, throughout my day and all the things that I'm doing as an entrepreneur or solopreneur, however I lay myself, is that, am I well? Right. Did I get enough sleep? Am I drinking enough water? How am I mentally? What is going on? Because sometimes, there is this pressure to show up in my work and in my relationships, and total disregard to how I'm feeling, right? Right. And it's like, and so I wonder why I have some, intense moments with my wife, or, my kids, or even my relationship to my work, is because I'm not well. I'm not really focused on my wellness.
And I think, when you're focused on wellness, you're focusing on, again, many aspects of it. Whether you're getting up in the morning, by the time you go to bed, are you working on those little things other than just the core things I think about, sleep, diet, exercise? But, are you meditating? Are you taking care of that mental, spiritual space? Are you reflecting on yourself? Are you allowing yourself into that flow state where you're not gripping, you're not stressing? You said you feel stressed about going to that. I think wellness is partly trying to alleviate some of that stress, and not to say you're not conscious or conscientious
Right.
about things that you need to get done or want to get things done, but are you purposeful in making sure you get into that space where you're not overly stressed, you're not pushing too much cortisols in your system? So,
Right.
those are things that I think we don't have enough quiet time and quiet space to be able to focus on that wellness. I think we can drive hard at being wellness, or we can
Right.
flow at being well.
Yeah, I totally get that. And sometimes it feels like, for me, because the industry of wellness, right? The industry of meditation and things like that. And sometimes I feel like, all right, am I just using a prescriptive way of looking at my wellness, or am I really like engaged to what's happening or not happening with me? There's a lot of conversations about, self-care.
Sure.
But the only way that I can truly take care of myself is to know myself, right? To
Yeah.
know and it's not just, drink, as when we were growing up, I think I'm a little bit older than you, I guess, but there's, take 2 apples and call me in the morning, or, type of thing. So, you think now it's like drink more water, right? And call, or something, or something, but it just feels like, what do I need at this moment? What do I need to be able to show up fully? And the more that I understand and really not just listen to my body, but listen to my gut, listen to all the signs that are causing me to stay in a place of wellness.
Yeah, that self-awareness is critical. When I work with a lot of uh, people in business or executives or just individuals, making sure they have that conscious self-awareness of knowing who they are, where they are, and in the context of their wellness is critical.
Hmm.
Whether it's in their mind, it's in their body, it's in their intentions. I think all those contribute to that wellness aspect of it. And just having, intentional structure
Hmm.
to those things is critical, because I feel like wellness is best evolved through consistency.
Hmm.
Consistency
Okay.
of focus, consistency of intention, and consistency of actions. Whether it's on that consistent water intake, sleep, diet, mindfulness. I think you hear a lot of that lately.
Right.
Creating that quiet space, because there's so much noise in the world, not only audible but visual noise that just
Right.
clutters the mind. I think that's where so much of that wellness permeates from.
Right. I've experienced many times, and I like how frame. You work with a lot of entrepreneurs and executives, about growth strategies and a lot of other things. And I can remember for myself, anytime that I get in those growth times, my wellness is the first thing that takes a back seat. And it's like, do you have I don't want to say an answer, a magic pill or something to recognize why that is something that we will consistently just put off, and kind of like act as if that, all right, I don't have time to kind of do this, but I am just going to stay, at it. Is there like a mentality in our business and our doing that causes that?
Yeah, oftentimes we forget we need to be somewhat selfish to be helpful.
Hmm. Got it.
And it's that old adage: when you get on a plane, they always say, put your mask on first, your oxygen mask on first.
Right.
And we forget to put the oxygen mask first, because everybody's demanding from us.
Right.
And that's why that intention and focus early in the morning sets the tone for the day.
Right.
I have to set the tone. Like if I know I'm going to talk to my mother, and I love my mother to death, okay?
Right.
But my mom treats me still like I'm 12 years old.
Right.
So, I have to come to that with a cheerful heart and a calm mindset, or that's going to trigger the rest of my day. It's going to set the tone for the rest of my day. So
Right.
if you build that into habits, that's going to alleviate some of that deterrent of people pulling from you.
Right.
So every morning I know I'm going to get up. I'm going to, if I'm crammed for time, I may only do a 6-minute meditation. You might ask why 6 minutes? Because that's how long the length. I can't do just my own. I got to have a guided meditation, right?
Got it.
So without fail, that's part of my thing.
Right.
If that's all I do, I'm gonna get a chance to exercise or whatever. I got that one thing.
Got it.
And that stays within the cycle of my days, my weeks, my months, my years. And that's going to alleviate some of that. So whatever routine, you don't have to meditate. Maybe you, I have a client that journals every morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of his routine. If you get something that's part of your routine and it's like getting up and brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, then you're going to be able to incorporate that wellness on a daily basis. Right. It's like Tom Brady or Jordan. They have that routine. Every single day, they're going to do something.
Right.
Kobe was a great example. He had this thing every single day. Right. Because he knew if he didn't focus on him first, it would impact his family and the rest of the team.
Right.
So back to the original point is you got to be a little bit selfish to be helpful.
Right. And I think that it's the of the big pushback that I get of my conversation of, be yourself and live your life. It's like, Bill, that sounds so selfish. That sounds like, and it's like we're like fighting against that, like you were saying on the airport and, in emergency situations. That's the only time that we are encouraged to think of ourselves, right? If the oxygen comes down, think of yourself for, something. There's a lot of things happening right now, but think of yourself so you can help other people. Other than that, it feels like if we think of ourselves, it's like, oh, you're so selfish, right? It's like, so it's like, it feels like we have to be in emergency. We have to be in crisis in order for us to think of ourselves. But what I think you're speaking to and what I try to do in my work is have people think of themselves before there's a crisis, to keep many crises from showing up in your life. And it's just like a hard unlearning that we have to do.
Yeah, and I think that goes to habit, though. And that's why if it's incorporated, you're subconsciously doing it without having that burden of guilt. I think when you talk about focusing on yourself first, there's guilt involved, and there's this thought of, hey, if I do this, then I'm not being helpful or intentional or responsible. No, it's not even an afterthought. It's a pre-thought. It's already done. So if I'm doing this in the morning, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like, that's self-care. You don't say brushing your teeth is selfish.
Right.
Right. It's mental, spiritual cleansing if that's a big part of it. Working out. You know what? If I don't work out 4 to 6 times a week, I'm not helping others. I have to. If you want me to be sane, my children, as a single dad, if my children wants to be able to have the best me and not me yell at them out of time or be agitated by them, they need to give me my 45 minutes to an hour of workout time.
Right. Wow.
And it's ingrained in me now. It's habit. I don't think of it being selfish. Just like I said, it's like brushing your teeth. It's like saying brushing your teeth is selfish.
Right.
That's self-care.
Yeah, right. That's self-care. That's like
you go and shower. Hey, you're taking a shower. You're taking time away from your family, your clients. Oh, that goes first. It's automatic. Right. We just put guilt to the other things that we haven't been used to incorporating in our lives.
Right. Wow. It is. And I love how, you said, I have a meditation practice. And there was a lot of starts and stops within that because, for me, this how wellness occurs to me at on some level. It's like, am I doing it right? Am I doing wellness right? So it is like, it's like meditation. Okay, I was distracted. I was there for a minute, but I was like all over the map. But does that count, right? Right? Type of thing. And so it's like, okay, that's not really meditate. Well, I'm not going to count that one, and I'm going to find another time to do it. But it is more that, like you were saying, the more that I really carve off a time to quiet myself and like kind of set myself up for today, then I can see how I woke up and see how I am going to approach my day, instead of just having my day just, I wake up and my day is here, right? Deal with it, right? Type of thing. And it kind of gives me that space to brush my teeth, to take a shower, to kind of get to kind of move through the day intentionally in that type of space, instead of, there are some days that I get up with work on my mind and just going, and I have no remembrance. It's like, did I take a shower today, or did I brush my teeth? I don't know, right? Because there wasn't an intentionality, and there wasn't that, and it's like, and that's not sustainable, and that's not well. That's not being focused on my wellness, because you have to. I believe that you have to be aware of it. You have to be conscious of it to be a part of the practice. Even though that there is a habit, there is awareness of that habit.
Yeah.
Type of
Yeah.
thing.
You have to dictate it.
Right.
Otherwise, the world will dictate it for you.
Right.
Yeah. If you don't dictate it, the rest of the world will pull. Believe it or not, everybody else is selfish too, and they're yanking from you for whatever reason. That's why they always tell you not to do email in the morning or the first thing, because now your attention goes away, and you feel like, if I don't hit this thing right now,
right,
I'm letting that person down, or I'm not doing my best. And actuality, and it took me a long time. It used to be the first thing I picked up, like many people, because it's next to my bed and all that. And like, you grab it, it's like, oh, and part of my actually 8-year track of this wellness transformation has been that intentionality in the morning, and then weaving those things into habit. I think the more you weave wellness into habit, several things occur. One, you don't feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
2, it's routine. You don't even think about it. It's part of who you are. I'm not sure which Harry Potter, Batman, or something was a quote of, your past or your history doesn't define you. It's what you do that defines you. And if what you do defines you, it's what you do on a daily, consistent basis that really defines you.
Right.
So if you can incorporate wellness into those things every single day, and have a bottle of water with you all the time, and I don't even think about it. It's always next to me.
Right.
And I just grab it, and I only thought about it until you said something.
Right.
And I don't think about, I have to have 8 glasses. And here's the thing is, I think what most, or I shouldn't say most, but because I haven't done research on it, but I would say many people do, is they try to be so exact and follow this pattern that takes so much effort. I go to 1.5, maybe 2. It just depends. I don't beat myself over it, but I think if I don't have at least one of these, right? I can get it back in the camera. Then something happened, right? I gotta at least a bottle. And do I have a less than a gallon some days? I might have more than a gallon some days. Yeah, but ballpark it, right?
Right.
So you gotta record every single thing. It makes it really difficult.
Right. No, I get that, and I think too often for me that I feel like when I'm recording it, to trying to get to a habit or to a level of consistency, that takes so much effort, like you were saying, that it was like, geez, I'm just kind of sick of this. I'm sick of the effort team, that is happening versus the actual activity. I've noticed for myself that I don't set many goals. And, some of my coaches says, oh, you need to set goals and all that kind of stuff. And, you're just kind of doing it another way. But I've recognized within myself that if I say that I am committed to this, that I am committed to taking care of myself, or I'm committed to something, then it's like done. It's like I just turn around one day and go, wow, I've been doing this for a while. And it's like, that's how my meditation practice really took off, because it was, I had a lot of stops and starts because I thought I was doing it wrong and all that other kind of stuff. And then one day I just said, I am committed to taking time out for myself every morning.
Yeah.
And then I looked back one day and it was like over 100 days. I was like, whoa, when did that, it's because of that commitment. There wasn't a goal to reach 100. There wasn't a goal to meditate. It was just like, however it was going to show up, I am committed to taking time with myself. And that's how it showed up through my meditation. And it just kind of go from there. So there was this recording because I had an app of it, but it wasn't me, I had to kind of put it in a challenge or all that other kind of stuff, do all that other kind of work. I just said, look, this is what I want. And this is what I'm doing.
However you decide to frame it, whether it's small or big, I have this quote I came up with, is the desire must be bigger than the burden.
That's great.
The desire must be bigger than the burden. So everybody feels this burden when they change or have to do something. It's only because desire is not big enough.
Right.
If your desire is big enough, the burden becomes small.
Right. Wow.
And that's the critical piece. You got to the point where, one, hey, that desire was bigger than the burden. And two, you didn't put necessarily a time limit on it. You just put a focus on the outcome. Earl Nightingale said, the definition of success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You were just worried about that progressive realization of that worthy ideal. You didn't think about, hey, it has to happen on this date. Right. You want to evolve. And that's really the difference between wellness and health, is that progress, that evolution, right, of achieving that worthy ideal.
Right. Wow.
Revolving and evolving to that best version of yourself. That's wellness. It's not, hey, are you healthy or not? It's not a yes or no. Are you improving on it? Are you getting better?
Right.
Are you at least a minimal state that you believe is well? And then are you evolving beyond that? Because even if you are well and you stay static,
right,
that's not wellness. At least for me,
Wow.
that's not wellness. If you say you're mentally the same today as you are a year ago,
right,
that's not wellness.
wow, I got that.
Right? If
Right.
you're static, you're status quo. Now, fitness, it's a little bit different because, or your physical, because, your body will eventually deteriorate, those type of things. But are you fit for who you are? Are you evolved better than you are before in all those aspects? Mentally,
Right.
physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Right.
vocationally, whatever those things are. If you don't have that total 360-degree quote unquote balance, because it's never all tens, but are you
Right.
8s, 9s, 7s maybe across the boards, and
Right.
you're evolving to that next level,
Right.
then you're well. You have a good level of wellness.
Wow. It's no, I think I really got something there, because I would say, and I've said a number of times on this show, that I have an unhealthy relationship with consistency. Sometimes it just feel like, it's like, I know this is not working, but I need to continue to do it. Right. And it just like, stop it. Right. Type of thing. But what I got from what you were saying is that it's about consistency, and it's not about consistency. It's about, am I growing? am I improving? Am I moving towards is there a, a bigness that is happening because the way I'm showing up in my life? That's wellness. That is, you can't, it's like trying to say, hey, this is a beautiful flower, and it's stopping it right there.
Yeah.
You're right. And that's in some cases, that's how we live our life. It's like, okay, I've reached my ideal weight, I reached this, and I'm just going to just maintain. And it's that, it's like, yeah, you look good, but it's not all good, right? And all type of thing. So I really appreciate that. That really kind of helped me just really saying that, hey, it's not for me, and I'm still what I call this. This is hot off the presses, and that's translated means that something just came to my mind. It sounded good in my mind,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to say it, and it may make no sense, right? Right? So hot off the presses, right? So, but it is something that I feel the more that I can be grateful of where I am, but also allowing myself to grow and to learn and to be available, that's a state of wellness. And that there is no pressure, there's no restraints, but there is a consistently growing and moving forward to that is a way to really help me get well and stay well.
Yeah. I mean, one of my great tools is to model success and model people I admire. And the late great Kobe Bryant was one that I followed for a long time. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And one of the things that even took me to even a higher level was to watch not his first career, but his second career that got cut short. Within a couple years, he wrote an Emmy award-winning little short movie. And he was very intentional in that next phase. And you would thought, okay, he can't do anything really great after that amazing career, right?
Right.
And here he is. He writes this. He's this huge entrepreneur. He invested in all these things, these companies that were really growing, his whole Mamba organization. And you're like, wow, I think his second career is going to even be greater than the first.
Right.
Amazingly,
Wow.
right? And that was just an amazing lesson. He was so comfortable in where he was in the finality of that life. And unlike many athletes, didn't have any problems with moving on. And you could see that he was in a different level of joy and wellness.
Wow.
You wouldn't see the wellness until you see the joy.
Right. Wow.
And that was a huge lesson. If you have a chance, go check out some of his interviews post NBA, like 2 years later, where they're talking about his second career and that Mamba mentality beyond the NBA.
Right.
That's a huge lesson on how to incorporate new things about your next phase or next chapter potentially in life, if you're at that point. Because a lot of times they say, okay, well, he's not going to be. I mean, you could tell he put on a little weight. It's not like unhealthy overweight or anything like that, but he put on a little weight, but he was still extremely well. You could see the joy and the peace that he had, and I sensed that he had a better level of wellness than he was his last year playing in the NBA.
Right. Wow. Yeah. I like you've just dropped something else. It's just that, the next, and I think the first book of the year that I read was Transitions. And there was like 3 stages. There's it was William Bridges is the author of it. And there was 3 stages that he talked about. It's like, the ending, the neutral, and the new beginning. And it's like too often we something ends for us and we try to do the new thing, and we're not in that neutral stage of just dealing with and sitting with what ended, the emotions, the disappointment and all that other kind of stuff. And the more that we're able to sit with that, the more that we can step into the new thing that is coming. And I think from what you were sharing is that that neutral time is our getting well, right? Our just really dealing with ourselves and our emotions and our health and everything, so we can find that joy to starting something new. I can tell you there are things that have ended abruptly for me that it's like, oh shit, I got to get something right now. I got to be right back in. And then it would start and stop. And then it's like, what's wrong? It's like, it's me. And it's because I wasn't well. I didn't grieve the end of something. I wasn't ready to start that new thing. And so it was like, I really didn't give it a chance because there were so many things, so much work that still needed to be done for myself.
Yeah, I find reflection time is critical to your growth and your wellness.
Hmm.
And without that reflection time, you halt that progress of understanding what those actions or that phase or that chapter did for you.
Got it.
And having the space to have gratitude for that, good or bad, or
Right.
indifferent. And whether it's things like death, divorce, any of these things that are major shifts that I've experienced or have witnessed many of my clients experience, you don't ever have that space to heal and evolve.
Right.
Or process and evolve.
Right.
I think that processing is a part of that growth and expanding to be well. And if you look at all the major characters in books and movies, where it's Luke Skywalker, or one of my favorite books, The Alchemist, right?
Right. Oh yeah, it's a great book. I love
it. So yeah. So in that example, Santiago had time to take it in and process and even laugh at it and thankful for it, right?
Right.
Don't take that space and time, you hinder your wellness,
right?
That growth.
Right. Because there were so many opportunities, especially in that story. And, I can look at my life where you can just like phone it in or just kind of like, all right, I'm out, this sucks, right? And just kind of give up. And it's like, being able to laugh, find the joy and just kind of just move from there. And so you're well enough to move forward. Wow.
He laughs. It's Santiago laughs. He gets beaten up in the middle of the desert. He laughs at the end. Right? It's like, oh my gosh. and that was the moment he started to evolve, and he was well. Even in that moment, he was beaten up, bloody, whatever it was.
Right.
This next level of wellness that he was transitioning to.
Right. Wow. You know what? I think we could talk about this for hours. However, sure. I really think you've kind of got it to we got to a place. I mean, wellness is an ongoing conversation, so this is just a conversation. Sure. But this has really been great. Is there anything that's coming up for you that from this conversation, or that you just want to like end this conversation in?
Yeah, you never stop being your best self till you're done in this world. You're constantly growing. If you're not growing, you're dying.
Wow.
And I love this, and I'll actually end on your thing is if you want great wellness, be you, do you, for you.
Wow. Now that is great. So people can connect with you on LinkedIn, Facebook, or
yeah, all the above: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. That's what's scrolling there is where you can reach me best. Instagram has an underscore. Some kid in Vietnam took my handle, but right. I have a website too, natpham.com. You can reach me there. We're revamping as well, but Google me and you can find me.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you Thank you very much for being here. This has been great.
Of course.
We'll say our goodbyes within the green room, but this has been great. Thanks, my friend.
My pleasure. Take care.
Wow. Wellness. This has been an incredible conversation, and just really looking at how wellness is showing up and our place, our intentionality to our wellness, to really our habits, looking at our habits, looking at how we're taking care of ourselves. And then the more that it becomes a habit, I love that. The more that it becomes a habit, then the guilt goes away. Because it's just, you know what? It's just a habit. It's just what I do, right? It's like, so I don't get time for you to give me a guilt trip or have a guilt trip about this. But that is wonderful. I really hope that this conversation has brought value to you. You can reach out to me at amwilliambrown.com, and you can have an introductory coaching call and see what's coming up for your life. Maybe it's wellness, or maybe it's some other things, so you can be yourself and live your life. Because the world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow.